Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here with another postcard. Now I've created and I'm running a monthly challenge in July 2024 called #GelyPostcardPlay. If you put this hashtag into like Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or your social media, it will bring up all the posts. There's some fabulous stuff going on, lots of inspirational pieces, basically 31 postcards, one for each day of July, and they're launched daily. So check that out. It's a great one. It is a great one. So today's postcard is this one. I like this back. I'm probably going to lose the gold, and it's very faint anyway, but it's there, but I think I'm probably going to lose it. Do I want it that way? Yeah, I probably do want it that way. Now, you may remember if you've seen the prep videos, this was a clean-up bit of tissue, and at the time I said I really liked the idea that it was a perfect shape of a leaf and that I might do something with it. Well, I'm going to. I've decided I'm going to try and do some doodling. Now, as you will know, if you're a subscriber of mine for a while, I struggle with doodling, so I've been on a bit of a journey, and I thought, you know, we need to do a postcard. So let's get me the sheet in first. So my first thing is I need to get this stuck down on there with matte gel medium. And I'm using that because it'll moisten the fibers in the tissue. And the tissue is actually gift wrap tissue. It's not wet strength, it's gift wrap. I need a brush. Where's the brush? That's nice and soft. I'll probably do with a bigger brush, to be honest with you, but this one's to hand. So I'm just putting a liberal coat of matte gel medium on here. I'm using matte gel medium purely because this card is covered with acrylic paint, which makes it coated kind of in a plastic. It's a very thin layer of plastic, granted, by the paint, but let's take that off of there. It will have reduced the absorbency, therefore the glue may not always stick to it. So let's do my best to get this glued down here. And I'm liking in this orientation. I got that all the way off there. This is the bit with gift wrap tissue. You have to work accurately, because if you don't, and it starts to, oh good grief, look at the mess I've just made there. It's going to be one of those videos, isn't it? Right, let's just move that in and take that. So basically I need to work from the inside to the outside quite quickly and gently so that things are sticking down. I'm going to have a bit of a clean-up after this, aren't I? If this was wet strength tissue, I could obviously go in and lift it up and iron out any of the wrinkles. But as you can see, it's one of those mornings, isn't it? I wonder whether I can just dare lift that up. Ooh, that was bravery. The coating of acrylic paint on the tissue itself does add a little bit of a robust touch to it, but I could easily be tearing this at any second, like I just did there. But never mind, it's gift wrap. It'll blend back together again. I was never expecting absolutely flat, perfect coating. And as you can see, I didn't get it anyway. So just smooth this down. And as I'm intending to doodle on this, it needs to be fully dried before I can start drawing any lines on it. So as I've made a complete mess, I mean, to see if I can show you. See, I've got matte gel medium absolutely everywhere. Flipping typical, isn't it? Just you turn the camera on, you have an accidental moment. Right, need to pause the camera, going to get a hairdryer on this, get it fully dried, see if I can't clean up my mess a little bit, to be honest with you. So that's that all dried off. Doesn't look very exciting at the moment, but that's fine. That's where the doodling is going to come in. I do want to add a little bit of stamping with acrylic paint because these areas here are obviously a bit sparse, and I thought I'd use this stamp of mine. I want to call it Mark Making Sleepers, I believe it is. And I like this because if you look at it this way on, it's a bit of a garden fence top. I know, it's me, I'm being peculiar. But I've got a really, really small gel plate here. I picked this up in an eBay auction about 6 years ago. I have no idea the manufacturer or anything. So it is just what it is, guys. I have no idea. Oh, that's far too much paint. So I'm going to have to dry this off afterwards before I use it. Now, come in here. Now, I kind of want both edges eventually, but I'm just working on one edge at the moment. As you can see, a bit of a blot at the top. Let's see if I can get that off there. I don't want to blot out the top. Right. Once I've visually looked and I've got a coat, I'm going to come in and pop that down there, just to give myself a border. Now I can see the stem here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look. Now on my stamp I've got a bit there. Actually, I might just be able to do that. So I'm going to come in from the other side. Again, I always check that I've got ink on my paint on my stuff. And I've just positioned that the other side of that. So I'm going to come in and do the same on the other side now. There you go. That's just given me some life, right? I need to, sorry, it's going to be a stop, start video, obviously. I'm going to need to dry this now because I can't draw over the top unless I actually have all of that dry. So back in two, guys. So here we are, all nice and dry. Now, this video is probably not going to be a 20-minute video or less. It's probably going to be a bit longer because it takes a little while to do doodling, and I may cut pieces of the doodling out if I'm doing the same thing. Right, I'm putting on a bit of paper so I can move it around without, let's just fold the corners, I've got something to grab on, so I'm not always putting my hand in the middle. I'm going to attempt to zoom in, so bear with me, hold on to your stomachs. I think that's probably about enough zoom in on that. Now, I'm going to be using Posca pens. Not that Posca pen, I don't think. I don't have a huge amount, but I've got a fair colour range, let's put it that way. I just need to see what, I think we'll start with this as the outliner, and this is 0.7 or a PC-1MR. Now, forgive me, guys, I'm trying to do this without getting my head in the screen. So if you end up seeing the top of my balding head, forgive me on that one. Right, there's the outside line. I know the stem isn't that wide in real life, but that's where the stem is on this imprint. So I'm just going to stick to it. Now, if I remember right, this leaf was a little bit serrated towards the top. So I'm just going to give it a hint of realism, but by the end of it, it's basically just the leaf shape I'm after. Now, I find drawing towards myself easier for some reason. I don't know why, I just do. Okay, so that's the basic outline of my leaf. Now, I need to put a central vein in it. I don't want the vein to be this wide, so I'm just going to stick with one line, but I'm going to go to a thicker marker, which is a PC3M. So I'm testing all my pens over here, guys, just because it's easier. Right, this has to be done in one go, so let's just see if I can pull it off. That will do. By giving the line a slight curve, it'll be an incidental movement that it gives the leaf. Now, we know there's veins on the leaf. I'm going to play around with that concept and make panels in a couple of places, just so it gives me somewhere to doodle within. Did I slip out of shot? I had a feeling I'd almost slipped out of shot. I'm not sure this paper's doing me any favours. Let's take that out of the way. And I'm thinking I want a curved line there. I'm trying to visualize which way up I want the leaf. I seem to be doing lots of portrait postcards, and I'm kind of conscious of that. I do want a curve. So I feel that's given me enough structure to start with. Now I can bring in colours. I mean, this is my Posca pen collection, and thanks to the guys who sent me some donations from Super Thanks to actually buy these. Much appreciated, I must admit. I'm just going to do the black structure first and then come in afterwards. So I'm going to go back to my thinner one now. And I'm just going to do... Am I still in shot? I am. A couple of lines either side of this. Just to make that panel a focal point. I would do the same sort of technique if I was doing a feather, because I was intending on doing a feather. However, I didn't do a doodle feather in the end. I did a feather in another style. Now I think I'm going to put a scalloped line in here. And maybe do the reverse of a scallop on this side. Yeah, the hardest thing for me has been coming up with patterns to use in doodles. Although I must admit, I have watched a fair few Zentangle videos, and those have been really, really useful just to give me some imagination or ideas. Right, I think I want to go back to my other pen, and I want to do this as a zigzag. Okay. Let's just put a line around there, which is a double line, and a line around there, which is also a double line. I like that. Let's turn it around and do it this way as well. I hope I'm not dragging my hand through wet paint marker. Okay, right, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Right, I think I want to bring some colour into this now. Now, I really like red, so how wide is this red? I wouldn't mind it a bit wider, a wider red. I've got this, what's this? This is ruby red, but it's not the sort of red I was looking for. I think we're going to have to do it with this one. So I'm going to come down the middle of here. Now, I'm assuming you can do with any paint pens you can get your hands on. I'm just used to using Poscas because they're the only ones I really am aware of that I use. I mean, I bought them, so I use them. I think I'd like to carry the red to either side of this line. I splattered that, didn't I? Oh, that was luck. My pen caught on one of the creases and it splattered. Okay, that's getting there. I'm liking that. Right, I'd like to put some yellow or orange into this. Now, I've only got big ones of these, so I'm going to have to be a bit cautious as to how I play with this. So I think this is going to be an orange line. Now, Poscars are opaque. Well, the ones I use are anyway. So I think what I'm going to have to be careful of is if I go over any black lines, I may have to go back in and re-establish the black line afterwards, which actually doesn't matter to me. It's just a case of taking the time to define them again. And I kind of expected to have to do that anyway. There you go. And that's actually picked up some of the grey, some of the black ink, and it's made it grey, which is actually fine as well. Right, that, I don't know whether that's going to hugely show. But it'll change the character of it. So let's just colour in this whole panel. And of course, because it's gift wrap tissue underneath it, it will absorb into that and dry really quickly. I do want to do this side. Am I still in shot? I am in shot. Now you need to be a little bit careful with some of these Poscars because they've got a really hard nib. So if you're scrubbing down on something, you could easily damage the surface below. So just be a little aware of that, should we say. Right, I've got a couple of greens. Right, this green I think is too... What colour green is this? It just says it's green, but if I remember... So that's quite a bright green. Not sure I want to go into that green, but this one is English green. What the heck English green is? See, the English green is quite dark. Ooh, I could probably do one over the top of the other. Actually, why don't I go this colour, emerald green. Let's go emerald green. Let's go all out on this one. It's going to be a dominant, so let's do the smaller panel at the top. I'm still in shot. And then I'd quite like to do this bit down here. And I'm going to do the piece on the other side of the stem as well, just because I can. Right. So just having a little bit of a think here, guys. Okay, we'll deal with that. Right, there's no... Is purple too dark? I can't pick it up. Purple might be a bit too dark for this, but I don't mind putting purple into here. I'm going to have to see once this is done. I'm going to have to go over most of my lines. And don't worry, I won't make you watch it. I'll pause the video and I'll do it off camera. And that will help me as well, because it means I'll be able to get my head above what I'm working on to be able to do it. Actually, I like that purple. I might see if I can do the purple over these oranges because I like the purple better. Okay, that's going to work. Now I really would like those white, but I'm not sure my Posca pen, it tends to, it works, but it tends to blot out on me. See what I mean? It's like, it just, I know I just pressed down, so it's meant to, but it never seems to give me a good coating. But as you're watching, why not have a go, Griffiths? I usually, when I do anything white, I've kind of got to give it 2 coats. Yeah, it always seems to stay really, really wet a long time. Don't put your hand in it, Griffiths. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I might give it another coating when it's dry. A little bit off there, it's going to really annoy me if I don't take that off. Right, before I do any more, I want to dry all of that off. So bear with me, guys, be about 2 seconds. And if this dries really dull, I might give it another coat and then dry that before I come back. But I'll let you know if I have done. Well, that took some doing. That took 3 coats to do before I got it to the white I wanted. And as I got bored, I filled in those as well. I have been around those with the red pen just to tidy up because that size nib in that size, yeah, it was difficult. But that's why I'm happier now that I've done that. I will definitely have to go over this afterwards to re-establish the black lines. But in hindsight, I probably should have drawn the lines in pencil first. But, you know, I don't doodle a lot, so maybe I should have known that. So now I'm going to come in and do some detail work. So I'm going to pull in the fine one. And this is where we get to play. Right. Are you in shot? You are in shot, right. I'm just going to establish this part of the line before I start. And I think I want to do these as chevrons. Just a bit of a nod to an organic shape, e.g. the veins that would be in the leaf itself. There you go, so just a little bit of chevron thing there. Actually, I think I need to take it up further up the stem. Right. Just where that joint is there. What sort of thing do I want to do now? Let's mimic that shape. I think first of all, I'm going to outline this. I said I was going to have to outline it afterwards anyway, so let's just outline this one shape. So that'll help me. So I'm going to come in about, it's going to be a spiral, but it's going to be in that shape. So I'm going to come in about 1 millimeter each time. I'm going to be trying to keep the angles, or should I say the corners, and obviously there's going to come a point when that's going to be too small, and it's actually going to end up as just a triangle. Like probably now, to be honest. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to. Okay, I'm happy with that. Part of me thinks I should do the same up here now, though. Yes, I think I will. Right, let's re-establish this central line again. And I think I got all the way to the tip of the leaf this time. And this had a line on it. And let's give the, am I still in shot? I'm still in shot. Right. Yes, let's start with this line. Okay, I'm happy with that. This is getting, there's a feel about this leaf now. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's a certain sort of feel about it. I'm kind of going to draw in that middle line all the way up, because that's sort of, by nature, the Great Divide. Right, so we've got the centre in. Right, I quite like to put, I like parallel lines. And I quite like the fact that that's got parallel lines, but will it be too close to that is the question. Mind you, that's got parallel lines as well. So let's do that one. There's nothing like putting pressure on yourself, is there? Doing parallel lines on a white background. Just give myself an established line. So fingers crossed, guys. Let's see if I can do this. That doesn't look very straight, that line. Mind you, it was drawn by me in the first place, so maybe it isn't supposed to be straight. I wonder whether that's enough of that. Let's just put some circles in here. Right, I'm horrible at circles. Oh, I'm not as horrible as I normally am today. It's probably because you're all watching. Okay, that's not bad. I can live with that. Maybe one or two little ones coming off the side would help. Okay, that's all right. I haven't touched this yet because I'm not sure exactly what I want to do there. Right, I'm still in shot. Let's establish the outlines of this section. don't think I went round that, did I? Right, so that's dots. Let's do some sort of, are you still in shot? You are, loop type things. I think I want to fill in the gaps around that with black. So I'm just playing with ideas, guys, because I'm unsure. Okay, I like that. That's sort of an organic thingy. Now, I seem to remember, there was a doodle here. There was something I did. No, that wasn't it. I wonder whether I can do spirals. Let's just outline this panel and then see what comes to mind. Let's see if I do squares. Doesn't have to be perfect squares, don't all have to be lined up. For some reason, I want to put a dot at each corner. Yeah, it's a bit random, but I might put dots into that as well. Not sure what colour, but I might put dots into that as well. This is just begging for parallel lines as far as I'm concerned. What have I got that's thinning? See, I've got white. I don't know whether white's gonna... It kind of doesn't do it for me. I've got a gel pen as well, but the gel pens for me are just as fickle. But I might try this. I in shot? Yeah, I'm in shot enough. Now I've got a feeling I'd like to put a metallic in there. Let's put my lids on my pens, and I don't have metallic pens, so I might just paint that with metallic and then re-establish a line over the top because I know what it's going to be. So let's have a look. Let's go with a copper. A copper looks like it's the right colour to me. Just grab a bit of that. I won't need a lot of it. Oh, there I am again. Probably the world's biggest paintbrush for the world's smallest area, but there you go. Right, let's just see if I can paint over the top of this, just to give it a metallic. Yeah, because I'll still be able to see the lines underneath to draw. Well, that needs to go in water. That can go to one side. I'll use that up later. Right, that's just thinking about itself for a second. Get rid of that brush mark there, needs to be gone. Just needs to think about itself. Right. A lot of that just needs to be thinking about itself, to be honest. Right, these areas, I want to put something into the dots. I've only got orange in one place now, so let's come in with the orange. And if I hold this vertical, I should be at a relatively round dot. Okay, that's giving me something there. I only have yellow there. Oh, I've got yellow there as well, I suppose. Purple is all right. I want to put a dot into one of those, but actually let's do this, because then that will carry that up there. So again, fingers crossed. Now I'm going to do a dot inside a square, so I have no intention of filling the square to the edges. Okay. I'm looking at these here thinking, how could I lighten them up? And I'm wondering if I went in with the white one, whether I could, and the thin white one, because it's stronger than the other one, whether I could just... I think once I re-establish that line with a black marker, I think that will work. And what's good for one side's good for the other side. I'll try not to put my hand in any of the wet paint. Okay, that's getting better. Right, I think what I want to do is, I think when you start doodling, things just catch your eye and then you go with it. And I really would like to almost mirror this here with a black line. But just the edge of it. Do you see what I mean? Just something like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera for a second. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do that on both sides. It might even be a double liner that I do, I don't know. And I'm going to re-establish all of the black lines here, dry it all. Then we'll work out where I'm going to put the number on this, because I've got this number here and I've got a feeling it might either... I'm not sure. I want to do it in this landscape, and also I want to re-establish that line there. So back in 2 seconds, guys. So here we are done. I did redo those as we knew I would. I've outlined it all, and I did do a double line around that, although it's not very neat. But you know what? I'm okay with that. It's sort of sketchy, that's fine. And I put a black line on the inside of the white blocks as well. Now I don't like the expanse of green around it, but I think there comes a point where if you do too much, you've done too much. Now, I do have this little number 18, which is sort of, to me, feeling that I need to put it here. So that's where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it down with art glitter glue. Put that up just a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, don't fall over. I think I'd like to nestle it right into there. And as it's in amongst the lines, that gives me the excuse to actually do a little bit of a line around it. And I think I'm going to do a double line because there's a double line everywhere else on this edge. Right. Okay, I need to sign it. That's number 18. I'm very tempted to put dots in here, and I don't know whether dots are the right thing. And then what colour dots? I wouldn't want to go dark. If I did anything, it would be with this. Let me have a quick look, because if I do one or two, I can also wipe them off. Oh, I don't mind some of those. Right, bear with me. I'll do this as quick as I can. Not a massive amount of them. I don't want it to look like snow. But it does just break up that bit of an area. I'm trying to hold it where I think things are not wet. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's leave as. I did want to go around the outside with black, didn't I? Right, so you've seen me do this before. Just coming in, I've got the chisel end. I'm just going around it. It just, I can't explain what it is because you can't really see it, but your eye can. It just finishes it off, frames it out. So that, I have no idea how long this video is, guys. No idea whatsoever, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. So that's number 18, slightly different than before. I mean, I could come in and add more. I could make those little cubes. I could add dots. I could do a lot more things to this, but I'm not going to. It's done. You saw it done. So from me, it's goodbye. So I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Goodbye now.